Hi everyone and welcome to my first video on my new Twin Flame channel. If you are familiar with me, I am Chanel. I am the reader for Divine Resolution Tarot YouTube channel. The Twin Flame reading for the month of September is already up on that channel, so please do check it out if you have not already. This reading is taking a look at the karmic partner and the Divine Masculine's relationship. Comments are also open, so if you have any ideas for content you'd like to see around the Twin Flame situation, please feel free to drop those down below and I can make content for you and do readings that help you with your situation. All right, so I've shuffled the deck, I've pulled your cards, we've got the masculine over here and the karmic over here, and sure enough, bottom of the deck, the devil, right? Bottom of my small deck, 5 of Swords reversed, and 3 of Swords reversed. So this is a situation that is really far past its expiration date, is what I'm seeing here. It's very possible that one of them or both of them are cheating on each other at this point. It seems like they want to leave. Well, one of them wants to leave the other, but for some reason they're stuck. They're not able to separate at this time. It looks like there was something that was built together. So it's possible that they bought a house together, they're on a lease together, maybe they've had a child. This wouldn't be a secret. This would be something you know about. So I'm not seeing this karmic partner being pregnant or anything like that. This would be something you're already aware of, right? There's an energy of trying to decide how they can. This is coming from one side. This is the Divine Masculine here. They're trying to figure out how they can have what they want without having to go back to the karmic. So that's kind of interesting because it looks like there's already been some kind of period of separation here with this 4 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles reversed. It's possible that the karmic has kicked the Divine Masculine out of the house, or has them sleeping on the couch. There's an energy of the masculine wanting to go back to the comfort they had in their life, but not wanting to be where they are anymore. So trying to figure out how can they create that perhaps for themselves. Unfortunately, though, it looks like there's an energy of needing this yesterday. So it's kind of coming from a toxic space. Like, I'm seeing the masculine doing a lot of drinking or like addictive whatever behaviors. So take that how it resonates. If your masculine has a tendency to like smoke weed or do other things, right? It's like this person is trying to do those things to open up their mind to possible opportunities or avenues for comfort, for stability. Like how can I get out of the situation I'm in? How can I make more money to leave? How could I have a place to stay without being at home, right? There's an energy of them thinking a lot about what they wish they would have had for their life versus what they have now and feeling completely trapped in the situation they're in. So very interesting. As I'm looking at the relationship here, you've got the masculine coming in for 2 of Pentacles for how they're feeling about the karmic partner, whereas the karmic partner is coming in as Page of Cups. So even though it looks like there's been some kind of separation or they're not on speaking terms, maybe they're living in the same place and avoiding each other, or if they don't live together, maybe they work together. There's something here where the masculine would have to change something pretty big about their life to get away from this person. And they're seeing the error of their ways and aligning themselves in this situation. They're exhausted. They want to give up. They have a lot of fantasies about moving jobs or homes or getting away from whatever it is that they would need to leave so that they can be completely done with this karmic partner. What's interesting, though, is the karmic is looking at the masculine like, hey, I feel like we could probably work through our issues. It's possible that the masculine cheated is what I saw in the spread back here. I mean, somebody cheated, right? But with masculine, coming through with Six of Wands to explain this Two of Pentacles, it looks like they either, wow, I honestly think they both cheated on each other is what this looks like to me. But I think only one person knows, right? So like say the masculine cheated and the karmic found out. The karmic is off doing whatever they want to, but they're not willing to out themselves, right? It's like they're just using the infidelity as like a club to beat the masculine with, rather than being like, okay, well, you cheated, I cheated too, so I guess we have some problems that we need to work on, right? It's like there's one party that knows, that the other one did something wrong, and even though they did the exact same thing, they're not being forthcoming about that information. They're using that to one up the other, right? Which is kind of interesting because it's almost like whoever this karmic partner is they're so fake. They're like, oh, well, I guess I can forgive you even though I was mad at you. But it's like they literally are doing exactly what they're saying that they'll forgive this person for. So it's kind of interesting. It makes me wonder what will happen with that. If anything, this will bring your masculine closer to you, or at the very least thoughts of reuniting with you. I think what's interesting too is that the masculine coming through in this reading, somehow they feel glad that it's not working out with this karmic. Like they feel like they're cutting their losses or almost relieved to be apart from this person, which is really interesting. I'm picking up on this karmic having all these ideas about who the masculine is or should be, and then like slandering their character when they don't show up in a way that the karmic thinks that they should. And so there's been a lot of pressure on the masculine to perform in a certain way. And I think that's really part of why they're considering the relationship that they had with you at one point, because you didn't put that kind of pressure on them. It looks like all you wanted was for them to do well, or, maybe to get sober or release ties to people who were not good for them, right? In the past, it looks like you had these types of conversations and the masculine took it as you being controlling or overbearing. Whereas now that they're in a relationship with someone who really is that way, they're comparing the two of you to each other and seeing like, okay, my feminine was saying things that at the time I took it as them downing me or badgering me or whatever. And now I'm seeing what that really does look like, right? And I'm seeing how I'm getting attacked when I don't change the behavior that this karmic wants me to change. Whereas with my feminine, they held space for me and they were like, hey, I'm just telling you this because you deserve better, or I'm telling you this because you have the capacity to be, such a whatever, and instead you're choosing XYZ, right? Like they're doing a lot of comparing and contrasting at this time. And what's interesting is with the karmic saying like, hey, I think we can work on this. It's showing the masculine something too, right? It's showing them how much they don't actually want to work on this. It's showing them that they want to leave. Now, what's coming through here is if this masculine did have some sort of infidelity where they were like off with someone else and the karmic found out, but is willing to forgive them. I hope you can't hear the truck outside. Sorry, it's kind of loud. For some reason, this made the masculine like want to end things with the karmic even more. And I think that's because you've always set boundaries with the masculine out of respect for yourself, right? And so they're viewing this karmic as somebody who they don't have integrity. They don't have self-respect. They're codependent on the masculine, where it's like, I can overlook what you did if it means you'll stay. Whereas with the feminine, you would rather leave the masculine and have your dignity, right? And hold them to that standard, even if it's difficult or it's painful. You'd rather be alone. And so they're also noticing that, right? It's weird because it's like the more the karmic is trying to kind of suck the masculine back in, the more they want to be away from this karmic partner. They don't see it as like, oh, you know, this is very loving, you're so forgiving. They're seeing this more as like something is the matter with you, right? Like if I'm off doing weird stuff and you're finding out about it, why would you stay with me? Why would you want me back? Why would you tell me that we can work this out? Like you're crazy. Like, no, we can't work this out. Like you're just gonna be the other person. You don't care about yourself enough to be like, we built a life together. What are you doing? You know, for some reason that's really turning the masculine off, and it's making them look at this karmic partner like they are scared to be alone, right? It's almost a realization of like, you don't love me, you just don't want to be by yourself. And when they look at you, feminine, there's an energy of like, you don't have a problem with being alone, but you'd rather be alone than to live in conflict, right? And so you have all this self-love, and maybe through your self-love, you could teach me how to love in a healthy way, right? If you love yourself enough to take yourself out of toxic situations, that shows a responsibility to yourself. That shows that you are the kind of person that your love, like you're loyal to yourself, you're loyal to the people that you love, right? It actually is making your masculine have a lot of ideas about you that they didn't have in the past, right? They're seeing that when you separated yourself from them, it wasn't out of trying to punish them, right? It was more out of like, oh, okay, this person genuinely loves himself enough to not put up with my nonsense. And so even though this karmic is like, oh, I love you, I'll take you back. You know, I would hope you don't cheat again, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The masculine is just like, what in the world is going on with this person, right? They're a doormat. I don't want this for myself. It's interesting because I think in the past, the masculine would have probably wished that you were more like this. But in you modeling the behavior of removing yourself from toxic situations is showing me that that's energetically changing what's happening in the divine masculines, their energy, I guess is how I could put that, right? When I'm looking at what the divine masculine wants for this relationship, Six of Cups reversed. What the karmic partner wants is Seven of Pentacles reversed. The karmic, it's interesting because they're kind of tired of the way things have been between them. And it looks like they're ready to go back to whatever was happening before this whole situation erupted, right? Let's see anything more about this situation. Oh, wow. So it's interesting because with this 10 of Wands in the reverse, I don't even think that the karmic partner caught the masculine. I think the masculine confessed this to the karmic partner of like, I'm either in love with someone else or I was with someone else. I don't think this is working. I think I'm holding on to something that isn't for me, or I don't think we're a good match. But the karmic, it's weird because even though the masculine has had this like confession or honesty with them, they don't see this situation ending. Like they're still holding on to this. So they made the masculine miserable after the masculine confessed about whatever was going on with them. And then their attitude was like, well, no matter what though, we're still going to be together. No matter what, we're still going to be a thing. We're going to make this work. And what I'm seeing here is the masculine actually wanted that kind of energy from you, where no matter what they did to you, you would turn a blind eye, because to them that at the time was what unconditional love was. And now that you've removed yourself from the situation or you've created distance, they're getting a new idea about what unconditional love looks like. They're like, oh, wait, unconditional love is not accepting bad behavior. It's holding someone to a standard of like, I know you can do better. And so I'm not accepting less from you because I love you, and I'm not going to watch you perform in a way that's less than who you are and less than what I deserve, right? I feel like right now with the masculine and the Six of Cups reversed, Star reversed, Four of Pentacles reversed, Page of Swords reversed. I'm so sorry if you hear the noise in the background. I think they're doing work on my street. This person, this masculine energy, they're kind of sabotaging themselves at this time because they know they can't go back. They can't go backwards. They're feeling a lot of regret about the way things happened with the two of you. As far as like, I wasted time. I had an opportunity where I could have fixed things with my feminine, and instead I did this, right? It's interesting because they've leveled up in a way that it doesn't look like they're ready to come towards you and be what you need, but they are starting to become very disgusted with karmic connections, right? They are starting to feel like these connections are beneath them, or it's like you loved your masculine enough that that love somehow made them feel, how do I explain? It's like they didn't feel good enough to accept the love you gave them at the time, but the fact that it took place and that it happened has elevated them to the point of like, no, someone really did love me enough to tell me no. Somebody really did love me enough to walk away. Somebody loved me enough to hold me to the standard that I could have been better, right? Because they saw that in me, right? And so your love has changed them in the sense of the kind of love that feels good and healthy and what they're willing to accept, right? It's almost like they were testing this karmic to see how the karmic would react if they just let it all hang out. Would the karmic set that boundary and say, you know, I'm not dealing with this? Or would they keep pouring into the masculine? And that's making them disgusted by the karmic. The difficult part, though, is that even though masculine is upgraded in a sense of what kind of love they'll allow in their space, they're still not at a vibration or frequency where they could have you in their space. Because now what they're doing is they're living in the past, they're looking at what they lost, and they're self-medicating and kind of sabotaging everything. It's like they want to burn down their life. They want to blow up what they've created because they don't want it anymore. But they also don't feel like they could have you either. And so they're just kind of spiraling in this space of doing some kind of bad stuff, right? They're out here probably drinking too much, probably hanging out with the wrong crowd. It's kind of giving the energy of like, I don't know if any of you remember the movie Twilight or if you saw the movie Twilight. I think it's New Moon where Bella starts like doing all this weird stuff because she wants Edward's like energy. She wants to see the vision of him, like, you know, don't get on that motorcycle, don't jump off that cliff. That's where they're at right now. And so the hard part is, even though they're having kind of these small scale epiphanies, they think that you're so far out of their reach that it's like, okay, I'm just going to sabotage myself. I'm going to ruin everything. I'm going to go out here and be super reckless because I know that my feminine wouldn't want me to do these things. And then that pulls me closer to them when I have those memories of them saying like, hey, don't do that, right? Or I'm worried about you. It's kind of weird because the masculine's almost trying to go back to this like checkpoint or restore point in the relationship the two of you had, where you were concerned for their well-being, but they still haven't figured out how to like thrive and meet you in a different space. So maybe you are hearing from your masculine and they're saying things like, I'm not okay, I'm depressed, I'm drunk, I'm messed up right now, I'm not in a good space, because they want to activate that inside of you where you're like, oh, I care. I care about your well-being, or you can do better, or, I hope that works out for you. The hard part though is that they're not ready to do anything different, in the sense of like, they wouldn't let you love them right now. They just want what's familiar. They want what feels safe and comfortable, right? As far as this karmic connection, what I think is kind of bonkers is how the karmic wants to keep working on this. It's almost like they're giving the masculine a chance to prove themselves, is what this looks like. And they're like, this is so weird. They want to give them a chance to prove themselves. They want them to jump through all these hoops. They're going to make them feel like nothing is good enough. Nothing that they would do is good enough. And it's like they're throwing it in their face that they could have been with someone else. They could have had a better life with someone else. But at the same time, they want to work on it. So it's weird. It's almost like this person, they're bitter, they're loving, they don't want the masculine, they do want the masculine. They want the masculine to try, and then they want the masculine to feel worthless and like their efforts aren't enough. And ultimately they think that's going to turn the masculine into the person that they want them to be. So that's like so strange, but I do think that this is all happening so that the masculine can see what it's like to have all this like really weird hot and cold behavior that they have done to you is now happening to them. It feels like the masculine energy has had a tendency to come close and then leave, or change the rules of the game without telling you, oh, now I don't like this, or like maybe you do something when you're around them, or you used to be around them, and today it just bothers them when yesterday was fine, right? Like it seems like this masculine is getting a lot of karma from this karmic partner. And something else that's interesting is I feel like it's possible there's some kind of money involved. I'm going to flip this card over because I don't want to get in trouble. But it seems like there's some kind of money involved where the karmic is trying to either get the masculine to like buy them out. Like say if they bought a car together, they want their half of the money so that they can own the car, or if they have a house, it's something like that. Like, I'm going to wait until the house sells and then I'm going to take the money and I'm going to tell them that I was with someone else after I get what I want. So it's kind of interesting too, because it feels like the karmic partner has an ulterior motive for working on the situation. They want something that they feel like the masculine owes them. And then it looks like their goal or their idea is to embarrass this masculine. It's very possible that this karmic partner is still with whoever they haven't like divulged the fact that there was someone else, and they're conspiring with that person. Like they're laughing at the divine masculine with whoever they've been with. Like, oh, they're so stupid. I'm gonna suck the money out of them. I'm gonna suck the life out of them, whatever I can get from them, and then I'm gonna drop them because they were so silly. They thought they could just take advantage of me or cheat on me. Well, I've got news for them. They're not that important, right? And again, that's kind of interesting because karma, right? Like if you have a masculine who's exhibited behaviors where they come in and they're hurting and they take your energy and then they go build with someone else and then that doesn't work, and then they come back and they take your energy and then they run off and build with someone else. This karmic partner really is like showing them exactly how that feels, because even though they're disgusted, even though they're like, I don't want to be around you, I want to get away from you, they're still going to feel really stupid when they pay off the car or they buy themselves out of the lease or pay all the realtor fees for the house to be sold. And then the karmic takes the money and they're like, ha, I've been sleeping with your best friend this whole time. And aren't you a fool? We're getting a condo with the money, right? Like, this is going to blow up in the masculine's face. And what's a little bit sad is the masculine is so busy sabotaging themselves and drinking their problems away or doing whatever they do that they're not really aware of what's happening, right? Like, they need to open their eyes and see that they're being taken for granted or taken advantage of in this really weird way, right? It's almost like these two people they're playing very different games. You know, masculine's like, how could you not care that I was with other people? How could you forgive me? You're a pushover, you're gross, you're weird, you want to keep giving to me. I'm going to rebel from this. I'm going to think about all the things I lost. I'm going to drink. I'm going to be sad. I don't want you, right? I don't want to be here. Whereas the karmic is like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm going to throw this in your face every chance that I get. And I'm going to try to make you jump through all these weird hoops because I know that you're stuck with me based on whatever this commitment is that we have, whether it's like a house, lease, job, car, kid, whatever. And I'm going to really play with your mind, right? The moon. I'm going to break you down psychologically and emotionally while I pretend like I've forgiven you or like things could work out. But as soon as I see that you're tapped out and that you have nothing left to give, that's when I'm going to do this big reveal of like, you were never my first choice anyway. I've been having sex with your stepdad this whole time. Haha, right? Like, this is only the beginning, honestly, even though it looks like the end. There's still a ways to go before this big reveal happens, before the masculine finds out just how deep they've gotten themselves in with this karmic person, because this karmic isn't done with them, right? After that, though, I do see that there will be a change in the masculine Wheel of Fortune. There will be brighter days ahead for them, but it's like this karmic partner is teaching them so many things. I don't see this relationship staying together outside of like for the financial reason, whatever it is that this karmic feels like they've been owed, or they are owed. As soon as they get that, that's when they'll flip the table around, or they'll do that reveal of like, oh, you thought I was stupid. Well, I was using you this whole time, but as frustrating as this is happening so that the masculine will do something different, because it seems like they've been in cycles, like karmic cycles, for a very long time. This is the catalyst for them to leave the cycle that they've been going around and around on. So unfortunately, this is going to be like a bigger impact, a bigger outcome or problem, consequence, however you want to put it, than the masculine has seen in the past dealing with other karmics, right? This is going to be the big one that they're like, I thought I was screwed over before. I thought I got hurt before. I've never felt what I feel now, And it's very possible that the betrayal that they feel doesn't even come from the karmic, right? It's possible that whoever this karmic is with, that's the betrayal, whether it's like the best friend or, man, this is weird. This karmic may even be like bi and be dealing with the masculine's like a different ex or a baby mom or whatever that the masculine has. Like, it's weird. Whoever this karmic is dealing with, it's gonna be somebody that was actually really close to this masculine. And so that's the part, right? It's not even so much the karmic partner. It's the part that whoever this person is with, that person has been smiling in this masculine's face too, and maybe giving them support or advice about the relationship that they're in with the karmic, right? That's going to be the part where they're just like, I don't trust anybody. I'm not dealing with anybody from now on. It's just me and I'm solo. So this has been your karmic reading. I would advise you not to get involved in this at all, because I do see your masculine wanting to reach out to you, but the advice here is Four of Swords, so just keep your distance, because whatever they're saying, like they'll tell you like, hey, it's over. It hasn't begun to be over. They still don't even know the magnitude of how this karmic is going to screw them over. They don't even have all the information yet. So I think it's for the best if you keep your distance on this and just let this play out however it plays out, because ultimately this is where your masculine chose to be. This is who they chose to be wherever they are with. And they need to weather this storm on their own, right? You don't want this karma to end up flowing back towards you and anything you're creating. All right, so your twin flame September love reading is up on my main channel, Divine Resolution Tarot. If you're interested in that, check it out. I can also link it at the end of this video. Like I said, comments are open, so tell me what kind of twin flame content you would like to see, and I will speak to all of you again soon. Bye.